Hi guys, and welcome back to Finding Your Indie. I'm Bonnie Paulson, and I hope you are ready for an awesome series based on marketing plans. So we have marketing plans, as you know, and what we are talking about in this series is the must-have portions of a marketing plan and how to make them work for you. A marketing plan isn't something that you need to have a ton of cash to have either. In fact, a marketing plan should be in place, or at least started in place sometime in the beginning of your career. When you have maybe a couple books, maybe two, three, maybe just one. But it literally is just telling you what to do to increase the growth of your business. We're going to talk about goals, the time frame, budget, and growth. And those are all things that are really important for your business, and they should be a part of your business plan already. However, if they're not a part of your business plan just yet, go ahead and put them into your marketing plan, and then you can just kind of use those chunks from your marketing plan and add them to your business plan. So those four that we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the first one, which is goals. Okay, so here is such a huge thing that people think is when you're an author or a blogger or a podcast creator. You know, if you're a creative, they think, okay, if I build it, they will come. Totally stole that from a movie. But that's what we think. We think, okay, if I build this, if I create this book and then I sell it to a publisher, they're going to put all the money in for me. But they're not. You have to still market your stuff. If you create a podcast, it's just going to sit there unless you have some way to get it out. And so a marketing plan is really important to have in place. It's kind of like going into going into a game of chess and only knowing how to play checkers. You really need to have a strategy. I tell my kids all the time, if you have a plan, then you're set up for success. If you don't have a plan, half of the time that you're spent doing whatever it is you're trying to do, you're going to be wasting time trying to figure out what it is you want to do next. I don't know if anybody's heard of the shotgun method, where you shoot kind of something at the wall and you kind of hope that it hits somewhere in there, or throwing spaghetti at the ceiling. It's the same idea. So what you want to do is you want to have a plan in place, and that's what a marketing plan will do. The first thing, like I said, is we're talking about goals. And goals are kind of like, I want to make $2 million next year. That's a satisfying goal, right? Wouldn't that feel good if that made it? But you need to start incrementally, and you need to start with realistic expectations. Does that mean that you can't have a high goal like that? Absolutely not. Nobody's saying that. What I'm saying is you want to start realistically, so that when you succeed and you hit that goal and you hit that quantifier, then it's kind of like, yes, okay, I can go for the next one. So a good realistic goal, if you're starting out brand new as an author, let's say a great goal would be, I want to make $100 this month. Okay, I want to make $500 this month. I want to sell 50 copies. I want to get 2 reviews. I want to, right? Okay, so you see where I'm going? So let's say that your goal is, we're going to put a goal up here in the corner. Let's say your goal is, I want to sell 50 copies this month of book 1. Okay, perfect. So then what you need to say is you need to say, what price point do I want to sell those at? Do I care? Do I just want to get those books into 50 people's hands? Okay, then your price point might be 99 cents, might be $2.99, $3.99, $4.99. It doesn't matter what your goal, what your price is, unless you realize that it can be a stumbling block for getting your goal. So 50 books will sell a lot faster, obviously, at 99 cents than it would at $4.99. But if your goal is $50, you're going to make $50 a lot faster with the $4.99 price point than you would with the 50 sale, with the 50 sales. So you have to really look at what your goals are going to be. Okay, so let's say, and we're going to work with my Bonnie name. I would like to make X amount of dollars with my series that releases this next month, and I want to hit a sale list. I want to hit bestseller list on like Clean and Wholesome. I want to hit a Western list. So what are the things I need to do? Well, I need to understand what the overall goal is for me, and that is sales, and downloads, because I'm a Kindle Unlimited author, that pen name is. And so that means that I need to hit a certain number every day to hit that ranking. Okay, so numbers it is. So numbers in Kindle Unlimited is how many downloads you can get and how many, and that's great. How many downloads can I get? So to push downloads for Kindle Unlimited, I would need to have a higher price point to push people into buying it, right? That's great. Or to push people into downloading it. A lower price point to get more people to buy it. Okay, so now that I've established what my goal is going to be, I then have to look at what other things do I want to do. If it's my marketing plan, I'm obviously looking at, okay, my goal for the year, my goal for the Okay. I'm going to keep saying goal to you because goal is really, really important. So as we are creating a strategy for our business, we need to also look at the model that we're using. This is our marketing plan. And like we just discussed, do I want to do sales? Do I want to make money, dollar points? What's my goal? We need to really understand the business model of one-to-one and one-to-many. So writers are a little different. We don't have to say make one bracelet and sell one bracelet. We actually get to write one book and sell many books. So once we understand that whole business model of what it is exactly that we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do, I think then we'll be able to understand exactly how our marketing plan can really create for growth, which will come. And growth is the last thing on our list that we're going to talk about today. But the second one we're going to talk about is time frame. So when you have a business model of one to many, it really is, it's just open. It's an exponential possibility rather than being like, I can only make 15 bracelets in a day. And that literally becomes your limit. 15 bracelets at $10 a bracelet. That's $150 a day. That's literally your limit. You cannot make more than that. That's because there's nothing else, right? But when you write one book, you can you can sell tons of them, right? Like just millions of them. I mean, look at J.K. Rowling. And hers have been translated, and the asset possibility is insane. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now, is we're looking at so leave the one-to-one mentality out of it and go into the one-to-many. So that's our goal, is to see us sell many of the one product, right? And that's what's really nice as writers, is we have that flexibility of spatial time and quantity and qualifiers. But what we want to do now is we want to look at the time frame. So let's say you have book 1, okay, and it's ready to go, and we know that book 2 is ready to come out like in 2 months. So we want to push pre-orders. We want to push the book 1. We can do sales with that. We can always make sure that we're posting things, and have, newsletter mentions, excerpts. There's all kinds of things that we can do to push book 1 so that book 2 coming up has a really good solid launch, right? So we want to look at time frame. When you're talking about a marketing plan, are you looking at a year from now, 6 months from now, 3 months from now? Are you looking at weekly, daily? So what I like to do with my marketing plan is I like to have 3 components. So I break it down what my goal is for the pen name. We'll go with pen names. My goal for that pen name is, it's laid out. I lay it out in terms of the year. What do I want to see that pen name do over the next year? And then I break that year down by months. I never do a marketing plan just by 6 months, 3 months plans, unless I do them for clients, because they're, you buy the marketing plan, right? But when I do it for myself, I break it down into a year, and then I go month by month by month. So for instance, let's talk about my Westerns. That's my biggest name that I have, and the most prolific as well, has most books out. So for instance, if I broke down for a year, and my years go July to July. I don't have January to December years, but if I was going to do January to December, which is usually easiest to understand, we're going to go December. And I would say December, I know that I have Christmas books. So I know that I'm going to do a push on Christmas books this month. November is a really great holiday time, but a lot of people aren't really reading right now. However, people always are up for a deal. So what kind of a deal can I put in the month of November that will, push sales, at least get my rank up there to compete with other people? Then we have October. Ooh, do I have any Halloween or fall kind of series, things that can, that I can push for, like I said, Halloween, fall, those types of things. Or hunting, like I've got some conservative readers and they really like my hunting series with the men that are hunters. Then we have September. Okay, can I do some great ones for back to school to really hit, where the moms are going to be looking to read, because I know that I like to read when school starts. It's kind of a break. August, end of summer. Okay, do you see where I'm going with this? So I like to break it down by month. What's going on this month that the whole world, or at least the United States, is understanding and can get on board with? Am I doing a Christmas series? Am I doing a Valentine's series? I've got a series that fits really, really well with Valentine's Day. So that's what you want to look at is, okay, so for me, over the year, What is the time frame? So this is for the month. Those are my promos. When are my releases? And I actually work forward. When I'm working with my releases, I work backwards with promotions. So, and I'll do a series on exactly how I plan those out, and maybe in a different series for production and promotion planning. So what you want to do is you want to think about your time frame. Okay. Now, let's say that you are making a run for USA Today bestseller list. Well, then you have to really break it down into, okay, what am I doing right now? What are my promotions that I'm going to be using? What's the book I'm using? What's the price point that I'm using? What's the time frame? You know, time frame for a run like that is a week. So you have 1 week to really make everything hammer in. And so you have to make sure you have your tasks planned out. You have to make sure that you have your ideas and everything in place, your promotions planned, your ads planned, everything planned for one specific time frame. So if you lay it out over the year, what your goals are each month, what your ideas are for each month, what your release is for each month, then you'll be able to figure out, okay, where exactly are my dollars going to be better spent? Which takes us to budget. So the budget on a marketing plan is fluid. And I hate when people are like, oh, I only spend, $800. I will only spend $800. That's all I'm going to spend. I will never spend more. And I think, that's really limiting, because a lot of businesses outside of the publishing industry, they go by percentage. So they'll spend 40% marketing, 40% of their profit, or of their earnings, not profit, but of their earnings to market their business. So if you say 40% of $100 is $40. Okay, so you're going to spend $40 to market your business, right? And make it go higher. So 40% of $200 is $80. 40% of $1,000 is $400. Do you see how if you pick a specific percentage and that's what you're constantly trying to spend to increase growth, that is where you're going to actually see the growth factor come in? Okay, so let's talk about this. So when I started writing, I'm old. So it was in 2009. I had just moved up to Post Falls, up to Spokane, Washington. And I just given birth to my third kid. We'd moved up. I started writing, and we had no money, because we had this huge thing happen in Las Vegas where we lived. A car drove through our apartment, and it cost us like $50,000 because they didn't have insurance. So we had to move back home. I mean, it restarted everything. It just restarted everything. It was insane. But what we did was, I started working. I was going to school full time, and I was working full time. My husband was home with the kids because he had been injured in the car accident, and he was sitting at the table, and the car drove through his back. And so anyway, so he was injured. So he was staying home with the kids, and I was doing work and stuff. While I was working and going to school, I also wrote my first book. And it was because I felt like I needed an outlet. Well, we literally did not have cash. We did not have extra cash for anything. There was nothing that we could afford that was extra. I mean, Christmases was like going and getting things at the Goodwill and fixing them up for the kids. That's how tight it was. And it was great. I mean, it was a super simple time, but I needed to market. And I also needed to figure out what it was I wanted to do. So as each year went on, I would spend $50 here for marketing. I would save up money and buy another cover. And then eventually it became where it was like, I can't afford covers, but I'm writing more books. So I had to teach myself how to make covers. So I do my own covers. But my marketing budget was always super low. And I realized that there was a lot of things I could do without having to spend a ton of money. And then once I did start actually creating, ads and doing things like that, which was about 4 or 5 years ago, I actually saw that, okay, I might be making $3,000 for the month, but I'm still only going to be able to spend 10%. I limited myself to 10%. Now I'm at where I'm comfortable spending 50% because it's a huge, I'm fine with that because what I'm making is significantly higher and I'm fine spending the money to make it go higher. But where I started at, it was like $300 to make $3,000. It was still a lot of cash because I was still paying bills. And then it moved up. The next month, if I made $4,000 and I got paid, I spent $400. Does that make sense? So that's how I work with my percentages. I always had it at 15%. In the fall, I always go up to 15 to 20% because I know that I'm competing with other people who are using a higher ad spend. I mean, there are some authors out there with some high ad spends. And so if I want to compete or even close to compete, let's be honest, I'm not going to compete with that. I can't spend $100,000 a month. However, I can increase my budget, and I do put that in my marketing plan. This is where I want to, make sure that I'm hitting certain numbers. So I'm going to have a higher ad spend. Also, something to keep in mind is if you're making a run for like a USA Today list, or you want to have a really big launch for your book, you want to make some sticky numbers happen, that's where you're going to have a higher ad spend. It is reality. Right now, we are in a pay-to-play environment, and we are not going to be leaving that environment anytime soon. If you want to make money, you have to spend money. That literally is what it is. But you can spend a lower amount and make that impact happen. That's where testing comes in, and that's where understanding your marketing plan comes in. I've talked about this before, but I had some marketing clients back in March when COVID started, February, March, and they were freaking out. And I know I've talked about this, but a few of them were freaking out. What do I do? Everybody's doing free books and stuff. And I was like, look at your marketing plan. What does your marketing plan say that we're doing? And they were like, okay, well, I'm doing a giveaway, or I'm doing a book sale this month. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I said, then that's what you're doing. You're sticking with your marketing plan. Your marketing plan makes it so that you're not making emotional decisions. Business is not emotional. I know the writing can be emotional, but the business part of it is not emotional. And you really want to make sure that you're separating the two. So a marketing plan tells you where to put your money. It tells you where your time is going to be spent. It tells you what tasks and things that you need to do to keep those things in place. Okay? Because the fourth one is growth. That is the biggest one that we need to talk about, because it takes into place why you're doing a marketing plan. It's why you're worried about your time frame. You're worried about your budget. You're worried about your goals. All of those come into place because you want to grow. Let's be honest. Nobody's watching my videos because they're doing writing as a hobby. That's not why you're here. You're here because you want to make some money. I know that if you're researching, if you're doing ads, if you're doing marketing, if you're doing really nice covers to market and all these things, you want to make some cash. So your business needs to have a goal. The goal might be, I want to make $1,000 this year. I want to make $50,000 this year. I want to make $500,000 this year. Whatever your goal is, you need to have a plan to get there. And all of those goals need growth in order to get there. So let's say for me, 4 years ago, I made like maybe $40,000, $50,000 a year for writing. And that was great. That was awesome. But the next year I wasn't saying, oh, I'm happy with $50,000 this year. The next year it was, okay, I made X amount of dollars last year. What do I need to do to increase that by at least 50%? And I made the steps. I took the steps. I made my marketing plan, my business plan, and I made steps that I followed. And again, you'll hear me say this. Marketing plans are not written in stone. They're written in pen, and pen can be whited out. Okay, so you want to make sure that you are understanding that a marketing plan can adjust. You can always adjust your marketing plan. You can always adjust your business plan. It's literally a living document or a living creation that you have to use so that you can grow your business. What are some great ways to grow your business? Well, if you look at your marketing plan, first of all, as an author, you should, or a podcast creator, a blogger, whatever you're doing with creatives, you want to make sure that you are creating. So create stuff. You need to have a plan in place though. And in the upcoming videos, we will be discussing production plans, how to put those into your marketing plan, how to put promotions in your plans, those types of things. But it all centers around the growth of your business. This is something that I really think you need to understand and really need to focus on. And here, I'm going to lay it out for you. Okay, this is a mindset shift. If you're making $1,000 in a year with your writing, that is awesome. That's tremendous. Stephen King said in one of his books, and I'm going to hatchet the crap out of his quote, but I think you'll understand it. He said in his book that if you're making cash as a writer, if you've made $2, you've sold one book and you've sold it for money, then you're a writer, and that's respectable. So $1,000 in a year is great. $100 in a year is great. $500,000 in a year is great. It really just comes down to your starting point. Where are you starting? And then you need to account for the fact that you need to grow. That's it. Plain and simple. If you're coming to me and you're already making $1 million a year, I'm not going to say, good job, you don't need to do this. I'm going to say, good job, now what can you do? Because everyone can grow from where they're at. Everybody can grow. So I always like to liken this to a diet. Bear with me. I'm a chick, and trust me, most of my life I've been dieting. So when you do a diet, and I actually just figured this out about 4 years ago. When you do a diet, it's not about what you lost. day to day, right? Because that doesn't seem like you're losing anything. I mean, I lost 7 ounces. I've gained 3 ounces. I lost 6 ounces. I gained 4 ounces, right? Like that whole up and down elevator. And we're going to see that in our sales. I sold 5 books. Woo! Oh, 2 days and I haven't sold anything. Oh my goodness, I sold 3 books. Oh, I haven't sold anything. Oh, I sold 10. Oh, I haven't sold anything. And you get on this elevator ride, right? But if we look at it over time, and you see that you're actually going up on your scale, and even with the peaks and the valleys, you're still going up, that is what we're looking for with growth. You're not looking for day-to-day growth. You're looking for overtime growth. So weekly, monthly, right? So over time. I really like to encourage that people use some kind of an income tracker. Like Reader Links is my favorite. As most of you know, I really like Reader Links. I have a series coming in on how to get started with them and how to really utilize that tool for your ads and for your marketing. However, I like Reader Links. I know some people like Book Tracker. There's book reports. Just the beta version on the Kindle, on the KDP dashboard is great. But you need to somehow be able to look at your goal, look at what you've done in the past, look at how you're doing presently so that you can make a plan for your future, for growth. And I'm going to keep saying growth and keep saying goals as we're talking throughout this series on marketing plans, because I know how important it is that you not get discouraged with a down day or a down week like we had for 4th of July week. Yes, it was a down week. Everybody was down. And that's because we had COVID. It's just starting to come out. People are starting to go out and actually barbecue again. They're seeing families. We were celebrating the 4th of July. You got to go outside. If you're where I live, it was like the first weekend that we've had great summer, summer months and summer seasons. So all of these things have an impact. And I just want you to know that it's okay to have those little slumps, and it's because you'll have peaks too. And the peaks are the days where you're like, oh my gosh, I had a book pub. Look at me. I'm so great. I'm so excited. And then other days where it's like, oh, I can't seem to get my promotions to kick in. And it's rough, but you can do it. So just remember that growth is something that happens by steps. It goes little bits, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. But overall, you're still moving forward. Okay. That's really important to be able to look at it on a graph and to be able to see the growth that you're doing as you're putting your marketing plan into place. Okay, so for our marketing plan, we've talked about 4 things that that are really important for a marketing plan. The goals, we've got the time frame, you've got your budget. Remember, your budget, you budgeting your money, is you saying, I'm going to control the spend. And not the other way around. I'm not just going to throw money at the wall. You have to be conservative with your money so that you can actually track and see where the growth is. I know I already talked about budget, but I always come back to that, because those first 3 always lead into the 4th one, which is growth. So we have goals, time frame, budget, growth. Those 4 things are going to be the center point of what we're going to be talking about over the next 8 weeks, 10 weeks. So what we're going to talk about, I will put in the comments what the outline is going to be for the series, so you'll see, and you should have gotten that in the email if you signed up. If you didn't sign up for the newsletter on findingyourindy.com, go sign up. That way you can make sure that you're not missing out on the series, each video when they're announced. I highly recommend that you check out some other authors that are doing podcasts. I know Dave Chesson, he has a great one with Kindlepreneur. Sarah Cannon, she's one of my absolute favorites that I follow. So now that we've talked about the important parts of a marketing plan, over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about the different parts, how they play into it, each breakdown of what a marketing plan needs to have, how you can go about doing that. And also, we'll have a Q&A, a really fun Q&A. But I've got some resources and stuff that I'm going to recommend for you. And so I hope you stick with us. I hope you have a chance and sign up for the newsletter for Finding Your Indie, because we're going to be covering some things over the next few weeks. I do have Monday mini marketing tips, and they go up too, so check those out. Those go up. Sometimes they go up on Monday. Let's be honest, I pretty much just named them Monday mini marketing tips because I liked it. But they'll be going up too, so you can grab those. I would do one a week. Just kind of grab one, do one a week, and do it on Monday if you want, but just kind of start there and work your way through. They're short, like fun little videos. But this series is all about the marketing plan, the importance of the marketing plan. And if you stick with it, you'll be able to figure out how you're going to run your marketing plan, the little components to have in your marketing plan, and the pieces that you want to have in your marketing plan. Okay, if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And remember, if you have any questions that you'd like me to address here on Finding Your Indie, you go ahead and fill out the ask me questions on the website, and I would love to address them. I've got a few in the queue right now that I'm working on, and I can't wait to hear from you guys. Thank you so much, and I can't wait for next week. We're going to be talking about the parts of a marketing plan. All right, stay tuned.